Hey, Sammy, how you doing today?
How you doing?
Good. Hey, you remember in that interview you did 2, 3 months ago, you talked about maybe World War III. Was just wanting to maybe you could clarify exactly what you meant there, and also whether you still feel that way. And also, you could have become a free agent if you wanted to. Why was it so important to you to stay in Kansas City with the Chiefs?
Very important to stay here. I think for what we did and winning the Super Bowl and the type of team and coaches we have, organization, why wouldn't I stay? You know what I mean? I'm a guy that's been in the league now going on 7 years, and I've been on teams where I was not so good, and we weren't winning. So my job was to really stay focused and be on a team to where we got a well-established quarterback, well-established team, and coaches, organization. And I think the fun is in the winning more than anything.
And also about the World War III and whether you still feel that way?
Not necessarily World War III. I'm just a deep guy. I think deeply, but I think now I'm past that phase of looking into things. I just really want to get back to football. I think that's the important thing in my life that I want to focus on: football, family, and just focus on being a better player, a better man.
Let's go to Sam McDowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, what's up, Sammy?
How you doing?
Good. What is sort of the balance between wanting yourself to have big games week after week after week versus recognizing the offense, and you've got Tyreek, you've got Travis? I mean, what's sort of that balance mentally?
I think every receiver or any player want to go out there and do well and, score touchdowns or catch as many balls as you possibly can and get the yards. And as myself, I want those type of things. And now, do I have to be mad or angry at the guys that's going out there getting it? No, I love my guys. I love to see guys going out there balling. And it's my job, my duty to serve others as well as they serve me. So as a receiver, yeah, of course, I want more balls and would love to have more balls, but that's not my focus. My focus is getting the win and going out there having fun.
Let's go to Bob Fesco. Go ahead, Bob.
Hey, Sammy, the last couple of years in the playoffs, you've had big games, whether it was against New England, obviously the play in the Super Bowl, Tennessee, you've had some big plays. What is it about the postseason that, you just come out of nowhere really and have these huge games and have huge performances when it matters most?
I just think I stay prepared. I just stay prepared all season. And, when those plays are called and those opportunities are presented, I try to make the best of them. And so far, man, coach and the staff and the players, when my name been called in the playoffs, I've been producing. And that's the best thing about staying prepared and staying ready when your name is called.
Go to Steve Walls. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, Sammy, how you doing, man?
How you doing?
Hey, you posted on social media about voting. I'm interested to know your thoughts about the voting initiative that Patrick and Tyron have started, and if you have any involvement with it.
For sure. I think, everybody should vote, not just on the president and little things like that. But when you're talking about voting, you can change a lot of things in your community. And I think that's very important for us athletes to speak up and talk about it and not get involved in the other craziness that's going on in the world. But I think voting is serious. And if we can change the small things and legislation, whatever going on in communities to get better people in, I definitely admire the people that's out there fighting to vote and the people that's pushing and spreading that knowledge.
Let's go to Mick Schaefer. Go ahead, Mick.
Sammy, whenever people run back like highlight packages from the Super Bowl, one of the select few pet plays is always going to be that play to you, the deep ball to get inside the 20 to set up the game-winning touchdown. For you in your career, I'm just curious, where does that one rank?
Number one, just to do it on the stage and the timing of that game, you know what I mean? And to do it on one that I think arguably the top 10 corners, Hall of Famer, is definitely one in the memory bank. And that's everywhere. My family, friends, fans, they always remind me, man, that's one of the biggest plays of the game. So I can always take that with me.
Let's go to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Sammy, thanks for taking some time. I was curious. I know that visualization is big for a lot of athletes, but we learned especially for you this offseason. I was curious what you're visualizing for yourself in 2020 when it comes to yards, touchdowns, and maybe a role with the team.
Visualizing Super Bowl, I think when you're playing this game and you're on the type of team that we're on, as far as individual goals, yeah, you love to have those numbers. You love to have all the touchdowns, but you got to be realistic with yourself and say that we have arguably 7 superstars on one offense. I just think it's hard on the coaches. It's not hard on me. My game is just going out there playing, but definitely have big goals for us to win the Super Bowl, and that's the goal. And individual goals is definitely set, but I think the focus is to stay on trying to win games. And if we can win games and Super Bowl and I can get 1,000 yards, then hey, that'll be great.
All right, guys, we've got time for a few more, so we're going to go Darren, Harold, and then Nate to close us out. Go ahead, Darren.
Hey, Sammy, good to see you, and thank you so very much for doing this, as always. Wanted to follow up a little bit on Steve Walls' question about voter registration. You're leading the charge down in Florida. Could you talk a little bit more about what your involvement is in your hometown in Florida, and then also here locally, since you do also live here in Kansas City? How important is it for the 3rd and 5th district for the Chiefs, the players, to be organized and making sure the voters in those 2 districts here in Kansas City are registered to vote?
I think Pat, for the most part, and Tyron doing a well job as far as educating everybody in the locker room. But back home, I just want to educate, not just back home, but anybody that's in the world that's wanting to vote and make the world a better place. And I just think voting right now is a big thing. And you see all the athletes stepping up and talking about it. But I just think it's a good thing.
Let's go to Harold. Go ahead, Harold.
Hey, Sammy, hope you're doing well, man. My question to you about just your wide receiver teammates, obviously being with DeMarcus and Tyreek and Travis. You guys have just kind of spent a little bit of time together. How have they helped you kind of progress as a man throughout your career during your time here in Kansas City? You mentioned that security earlier. And then how have you just all worked with each other with route running and getting acquainted with Mahomes? Not just obviously virtually you can't do it, but just getting together as you guys progress, as you've been together a while and try to be here for a little while longer.
We all just work well with each other. I think when I got in, those are a group of guys that was very knit, close, and I was the kind of guy that was kind of standoffish, quiet. But once I got here, those guys make me feel younger, make me dance, make me pop jokes and little stuff like that. So it kind of made me open up, and it's good to have a group of guys like that in the locker room to help you be yourself more. And I think we got a great group, and I just want to continue to improve on it.
We'll go Nate Taylor with the last one here. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Sammy. Good to see you, man. I have 2 questions for you. The first one is I'm interested, beyond just dealing with the contract and understanding that the NFL is a business, how much did your teammates sort of help involve you in your decision-making to come back to the team? How much did they, sort of reach out to you to explain your impact and their desire to have you on the team? To sort of be part of the running back tour. And then secondly, your contract is sort of structured where it is incentive-based, and obviously that is sort of tied to statistics. I just wonder why you felt comfortable going that route, and how much do you feel like you still have to prove to yourself beyond just what the incentives are of the contract?
Yeah, I mean, coming back here was the number one thing in the offseason. And like I just explained, why wouldn't I come back to one of the best organizations, the best team? And, of course, we just won a Super Bowl. And if you look at the team, we haven't lost not one player who was active last year. So my job and focus was to come back and try to, win another Super Bowl. And I think that's the biggest thing. And as far as my contract, I think I made enough money. I love more money, but as far as being smart and educated on this team and knowing that, you got to pay Pat, you got to pay Chris, you got a lot of guys you got to pay. So for me to take a contract like I did was a blessing. I still have an opportunity to reach up to whatever amount that I can reach up to. But just really just showing the world, like, it's not all about money. This is my happy place. So why not take a smaller contract and, come out here and play with the guys I've been playing with.
Sammy, we appreciate you taking the time today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.